Hey everybody, welcome to HDpiano. My name is Ted, and in today's lesson we'll learn how to play It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas. Here's the first A section. There you go, that's part one. So the rest of the lesson can be found at hdpiano.com. My question for you today is, do you have a favorite recording of this Christmas song? Because these Christmas songs, they always have so many different recorded versions. This song is written by Meredith Willson, but there's lots of different artists who've recorded it. And today I'm actually teaching my own custom arrangement of it, sort of a jazz piano, solo piano arrangement. But I'm curious if you have a recording of this song that you really like, so you should comment below. Okay, so in this arrangement, we're going to go through some different classic solo piano styles for jazz piano. And in this first section, we're looking at this arrangement style where we're playing mostly just melody notes in the right hand, and then a bass line in the left hand. And this style of bass line, people call it a two-feel or sometimes a two-beat. And it's called that because you play usually two notes per measure. There are a lot of embellishments here that we'll get to play with, but the basic feeling of this two feel is half notes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, etc. like that. And then meanwhile, we'll be playing the melody against it in the right hand. So the fun thing that you can do with this feeling, first of all, this bass line feeling is very dancey feeling. It's a really light, fun feeling to have underneath the music. It's something that a lot of upright bass players do in a sort of when they want to have a little bit less of a full-on driving energy than walking bass lines. They might instead do this kind of two-feel. And you notice all these embellishments, a big part of the point of the embellishments is that they help communicate the feeling of that swung eighth note. So this arrangement, we're going to be playing everything with a swung eighth note, and that's one of the fun things that we can work on here. Okay, so let's go through this left-hand bass line part, and this will also be a chance to learn the root notes of the chord structure here. So I'll count it in 1, 2, 3, 4. We start on G, go to C, back to G. And then that embellishment there, it's actually supposed to start on beat 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. What I'm doing there is I'm going up to the 5th of the chord because we're still on a G chord. And I'm just surrounding it with that little cliche there. Then we'll go on from there to G, B7, C, E7 over B to A minor 7. Okay? And the other rhythms there, aside from half notes, were that I had a little eighth note skip, G, B, and then I went to quarter notes. And that's something to pay attention to when you listen to bass players playing a two-feel like this. It's actually pretty common to either at the 4th bar of the phrase or sometimes even just every 2-bar phrase to go to quarter notes to give it a little bit more propulsion. Okay, so we've covered the first 4 measures. Let's check out what goes on from there after the A minor 7. This is all very classic jazz chord changes, or Great American Songbook chord changes. We're on the A minor 7, which is the 2 minor 7 chord in the key of G. And then we're going to go to D7, which is the 5 chord, and then to G major 7. So that's a 2-5-1. Any jazz players will likely be familiar with that chord progression. Moving on from there, we'll go. And you might call that, because of the chord happening in the right hand, you might call that an E minor over B chord with a little passing chromatic note. Going into this A, and it's kind of no chord really because we're just playing melody in right hand, but if you were to play a chord, I would guess it would be an A sus going to an A7, before you go to D7. So that's a 2 sus to 2 dominant going to the 5 dominant. Another very common jazz chord progression for the last couple bars of an 8-bar phrase. All right, and then at the very end here, we have this little D arpeggio as an embellishment after the end of the right hand melody phrase. Okay, so there's our left hand. I'm going to play it through once by itself, and you can try and play along with me. So 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's learn the right hand. All right, so here we can put this together with the left hand to help see how they fit together as I teach it, and it's also going to help reinforce what the chord structure is as it's happening. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you notice there that there's one moment where I catch some chord shapes with my right hand, just to go along with the G harmony at that moment. All right, that's the first 2-bar phrase. Let's move on from there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Okay, I'm going to stop there. So that was more of catching these chords when I can, and sometimes going back to just a single melody note when it's more convenient or less clunky. And a fun challenge here to work on if you're playing in this arrangement style in your right hand is to focus on keeping the melody coherent, even when you're throwing in almost this like third hand in the middle that's playing the chords. So you can hear how I'm voicing to the top, right? I'm playing the melody a little stronger, and I'm making sure that it's connected where it needs to be. All right, let's move on to the next 2-bar phrase. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Let's go ahead and move on to the last 2-bar phrase. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I broke that into 2-bar phrases because that's probably a good way to practice it at first. And then you can try and link together the 2-bar phrases into this entire 8-bar section. In our next video, we're going to go over the second A section, we would call it, of this classic 32 measure form for a Great American Songbook song. And there's a little preview of the arrangement style we'll be using. So the rest of the lesson is at HDpiano.com if you're not there already. We're on social media, and you can also give us your song requests at the link in the description. I'm Ted with HDpiano.com, and I will see you there for the rest.